So for instance, imagine if, Gearbox, when they were releasing Borderlands 3, decided to make this a live service experience. Yet you could still only play with like 4 people at any given moment. What that would basically sound like is they're taking a single player, type game and just adding online DRM, like this forced connection or forced server requirement, just so you would have to be connected to their server. Now, I guess one could compare this to something like Elden Ring, right? Which there is an online, there is an online component to Elden Ring, a pretty big online component. You got co-op, you got PvP, you've got entire quest lines that involve you communicating with other players. That doesn't mean that if you don't have an internet connection for some reason, or if you're like me underneath Linux using a certain mod to get super ultra widescreen, basically cut off yourself from the internet, that game doesn't function. Obviously, Elden Ring and any of FromSoft's titles can function without an internet connection. You just miss out on that significant online component that those games provide. It doesn't mean that those games can't process a lot of that game logic, like AI and whatnot, locally. Now, obviously, the way that The Crew, Elden Ring, and even Borderlands 3 are all programmed in different fashions. But the way that Stop Killing Games describes it, or at least that is the worst example that I'm giving you. That is the most evil version of online only DRM affecting titles. Now on the other end, you also have games like MMORPGs. Now imagine something like, I don't know, World of Warcraft. Now, you probably can expect that those games have thousands of players built into them. It's not just the fact that those are online games, it's just that those are also games that require you to be connected online to the functionality, the core identity of that game is centered around you being, in a pool of players doing group events together. There are entire economies in MMORPG games where tens of thousands of players participate in jobs online, like carpentry, like coal mining, like cooking, to create items, putting them on an entire internet storefront within the game and selling them in auction houses. There are economies, there are guilds, there are entire reasons for MMO games being these multiplayer focused experiences that just can't be replicated in these single player like settings. So there is a lot of vagueness that I think should be addressed going forward into the Stop Killing Games stuff.